Just imagine you're chatting with a friend about a TV show you love. That's the vibe that we're creating here, right?
Just a quick note before we get started. I did have an issue with my microphone this episode. There's an annoying background noise, but shout out to my friend Nino. He reduced it a little bit, so I hope it's not too disturbing. Now let's dive right in.
Hey guys, Nina here, and welcome back to More Than Fiction. So, summer is basically over, and I'm back home, done traveling, which means I have the time to do some more episodes, right? And today is gonna be a special one because, as you know, normally, I discuss mainly books on this podcast, but sometimes I do TV shows too because I am a TV show freak and it really depends on my mood whether I'm more into reading or into binging TV shows. And I just binged one, Dexter Resurrection. So, I mean, if you're here, you know who and what Dexter is, right? I'm not gonna get into details about the show from the early 2000s, the original one. Like, we've all watched that. So, you can also expect spoilers about that one, but mainly about Dexter New Blood, since Dexter Resurrection is actually a continuation of Dexter New Blood. Which, by the way, I didn't like as much, but Dexter Resurrection, oh my gosh, I am obsessed with this one. This one got me hooked. The same with actually Dexter Original Sin. Not as hooked as this one, but more than New Blood, if I'm honest. Like, I was really positively surprised by the actors, by the storyline, by just how much it intrigued me, and the fact that it has had Michael C. Hall's voiceover in the background. That was epic. I felt like it fit in so well. And I didn't expect a continuation of Dexter New Blood. I really thought that at the end, by the way, again, spoiler alert, when Harrison shot Dexter, I thought that was it. That means that Dexter is literally dead. That is his ending. We are never seeing him again. Tragic, but, kind of expected in a way. Like, eventually it was gonna happen, kind of, situation. But I'm glad that's not the case because I was so disappointed by that. If I'm completely honest, my personal hope for Dexter was that eventually he was gonna get caught. So even with the original series, I didn't like that fact that he just went on his boat and he drifted away. You know what I mean? I kind of wanted people to know who and what he was. I'm like rooting for Dexter. I like him as a main character. He kills bad guys. Like, what's there not to like? But it would be so interesting if people finally found out. His closest friends, his co-workers, everyone. Like, imagine the shock. That would be such good entertainment. You know what I mean? For entertainment purposes, it would be pretty damn amazing. Plus, we got so many seasons of Dexter getting away with it. Why not see how he goes to trial? How everyone just like knows that he was the one killing all of these people. So I was hoping that at the end of New Blood, like he got caught. If anything, right? The best case scenario is that yeah, he gets away and that we get more seasons, which we are now getting. But if I had to choose between two evils, right, I would choose for him to get caught instead of getting killed. So that I mean really stressed me out. I was so mad at Harrison as well. I was like, come on, how can you shoot him? I know he was a big father to him. Well, I don't know, like we all have daddy issues, we all have mommy issues, like we have so many issues, but like would you really kill and shoot your, parent? Really? I'm not gonna get into details there, but I just couldn't find a good excuse for Harrison. And I know Dexter told him to shoot him, but still, come on. Someone tells you to shoot him and you're just gonna do it? Who does that, right? And like we also find out essentially that Harrison isn't like Dexter, he doesn't have this serial killer urge in him. He was kind of confused about it because he does have anger issues, but that's not the same as being like a psychopath, right? Like Dexter is. So the fact that he was capable of doing that was pretty crazy. But yeah, since he does have anger issues, what happened in Dexter Resurrection at the beginning of the show wasn't that crazy. He just couldn't control his rage. And the fact that the first thing we get is him killing a man, that was insane. Like, I feel like a lot of people probably thought that maybe now he's gonna become like Dexter. He is gonna go into that serial killer mindset, and he's gonna follow in Dexter's footsteps. But I never thought that. I like saw Harrison for what he was. I saw that he just a kid that had a chaotic upbringing. He was raised without a father, without his real mom. And then he found out about what Dexter is. He has so much rage against Dexter and so much resentment. And he just doesn't know how to channel it, how to express it. And that's why we have therapy, In the next season, Dexter should probably like sign him up for some therapy so he gets those issues out and doesn't murder people anymore. Even though I felt like that guy totally deserved it. I wasn't like judging Harrison for that. I was actually, yeah, go Harrison, even though I was still mad at him for what he did to Dexter. And at the beginning, when the show started, I was like, are we seriously gonna follow Harrison now without him like expressing any kind of sadness about Dexter? At the beginning, he was really chill about it. He got this job at a hotel. He's now working. He has this girl that he likes. I'm just, excuse me, bitch, you shot your dad. You know what I mean? You think he's dead, then what? But then we did get his hallucination. I still felt like we should have gotten more of those hallucinations about Dexter, because then he started hallucinating about the other guy, the dude he killed, and I'm like, no, hallucinate about your dad, okay? But it's fine. And yeah, like before we dive further in, just so you know, this is gonna be a chaotic chat. I don't have anything structured, I'm not gonna read something here on my computer and talk to you about it. This is just straight from my heart, from my head, impressions, feelings, thoughts. Just imagine, you're chatting with a friend about a TV show you love. That's the vibe that we're creating here, right? So yeah, we're gonna chat about the entire series, the entire season, but I'm not gonna get into details. I'm not gonna go episode by episode what happened in each episode. That's gonna be like 10 hours long. Just, generally what I liked, what I didn't like, and stuff like that. So yeah, we also get the immediate repercussions of what happened with Dexter when he got shot. He's now in the hospital. He's hallucinating everyone, which I love. I mean, not hallucinating, dreaming about everyone. And most of all, I just loved seeing Dokes, because that man, that actor, has not changed. I feel like he hasn't aged a day. I mean, it's insane. He looks the exact same way. And also his attitude, like I forget right now everything he called Dexter, but I feel like surprise motherfucker is gonna stay with me forevermore. And yeah, just getting that, I did not expect it. I did not see it coming, so that was amazing. I did kind of miss Rita, maybe. I feel like she could be a good addition, because Rita, she was such a sweetheart. And honestly, when I saw her die, I had to take a break from the show for like 2 months, I think, or even more, before I continued watching it, because I was just so traumatized by that. That was really traumatizing and really sad. And the thing is that I kind of knew where they were taking it, where they were going with it. I knew that was eventually going to happen because of Dexter's behavior in that season. He was so unhinged, befriending the Trinity Killer. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And then the worst happened, and I was just so mad at him, I couldn't even continue watching. And the aftermath was kind of depressing too. So, like, you have to be in the mindset to watch that. At least that's how I'm like. I really have to be in the mood for certain vibes to continue. For example, right now, I'm in the mood for something cheerful, so I will watch a comedy. I'm not gonna watch, a thriller or a murder mystery or something like that. So yeah, that was the vibe. I missed Rita, but I'm really glad that Harry's back again. His dad, he's just amazing. And he brings back that same vibe from the original TV show too. Deborah in New Blood was also great. I loved seeing that actress. I mean, her death was literally one of the most heartbreaking deaths in like TV show history. I just can't even express with words how sad I was after that. And the ending of the original series was even sadder and even more annoying because of everything that happened there. So they kind of ruined a lot of things, but she as a character was always amazing, and I was glad to see her in New Blood. But now I'm glad that Harry is back, because Dexter has kind of put that to rest. I also really loved how they explained everything. I mean, there's a lot of like, you have to suspend your disbelief in this series a lot of times. For example, Angela, Dexter's sheriff girlfriend from New Blood, the fact that she just kind of decided to leave it and just forget about the fact that Dexter is the Bay Harbor butcher. He did kill her partner, police officer. And she was just like, fuck that. He did help me. catch another serial killer, so I'm just gonna leave him now. Even though she was so passionate about it before. That was kind of, but at the same time, I am glad that we got an explanation. They didn't brush it under the rug entirely, so even though the explanation is a little bit out there, they had to like do something. I really thought that yeah, this season we're gonna get like him trying to escape from the cops or something, waking up chains to the bed. So when I saw that he wasn't chained or anything, because he wasn't in a prison hospital, I was like, what is happening here? I knew something was up, and I'm glad they kind of explained that away. So first impressions, like great, 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 great first episode. The fact that we got Angel, oh my god, Angel in this season. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, shall I dive into that immediately or shall we wait? We shall wait a little bit. Let's go back to Harrison and Dexter. So, eventually, when Dexter gets if he doesn't get released from the hospital, he escapes because Baptista's onto him and he sees on the news that someone has been killed and chopped up into 9 pieces, which is Dexter's MO. So he immediately realizes that that must be Harrison. He tracks him down and he doesn't confront him. Dexter, such a coward, okay? I was so frustrated with Dexter here because he kept telling himself, like, he's better off without me. He doesn't need me. Like, look at him. He's hanging out with friends. He's going on dates. He looks so happy. I'm like, bitch, are you crazy? But at the same time, you do kind of understand he is different, so he doesn't really get how killing your father, thinking you killed your father, and killing someone else might really affect you, right? Because it doesn't affect him. So okay, fine. But yeah, I just like honestly, even though he was angering me with this thought process, at the same time, this is such a vibe from the original series. Dexter did that all the time. He kept looking for excuses for like why not to do that, why not to go there, not to get attached to certain people, not to hang out with them. He lied to himself so much. So the fact that we now see how he's lying to himself in regards to Harrison is pretty damn amazing. Because the vibe of the original series is there. It feels like the original series, like it's literally just a continuation. Like a year later, not so many years later. Like how many years has it been? 10, over 10? I don't know. You get my point. And him discussing it with Harry convincing him like, go talk to your son, he needs you, and him being like, no, it's a vibe. I was kind of worried that we were gonna have to wait really till the end of the show to get their confrontation and all that, but thankfully, that didn't happen. We got it, after 5 episodes, 4 episodes, I'm not sure, but I felt like it was the right amount, in my opinion. And it was also, I don't know why, I was being maybe a little bit naive. I was kind of expecting or maybe hoping that when Harrison saw Dexter, that he's alive, that he felt a little bit unburdened. At the end of the day, he did think he killed his dad. So that was a burden for him. And I thought, okay, when he sees him, maybe it's gonna feel easier for him. Maybe he's gonna feel better about it because he's gonna be like, okay, thank God I did not murder my father. But instead, he went into the opposite direction and he was like still he had this attitude against Dexter, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I just thought he was gonna be a little bit more chill. I don't know. He was like really mad at him still. I'm like, damn it, you shot him, right? You like tried to kill him. So just maybe take it down a notch. But yeah, if he was completely fine, that also wouldn't have made sense. So I'm over it. But that was like my thought process while I was watching it. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, eventually they do patch it out. And honestly, like all of the scenes between Harrison and Dexter were really amazing, I felt like, because I love seeing Dexter in this role of a quarter. For example, when Gigi came over and he was like, so what will we do? I have some cards in the back, shall we play? And that was just so funny. And like him giving him protection. At first I thought it was a condom. Later on we find out it's something to protect himself against, evil people like Prater. But yeah, just those interactions, like normal-ish father-son kind of situations. Also, for going to college with him, Harrison kind of asking him to go, expecting him to come. He was late, but he did show up, and I love those interactions, and I hope we get many more in the future. I also like the fact that Harrison is different in the sense normally when Dexter told anyone about who he is and what he is, they were all psychopaths and they all wanted like to do these crazy things with him. But Harrison's different. He kind of understands and accepts Dexter for what he is, but he isn't the same. He's not a psychopath. So he's just there if Dexter wants to talk about it with someone, but he's not gonna like actually work with him and do the killing with him. So that's an interesting combination as well. For example, when Dexter told him about Frater, Harrison reacted in a way in which he's like, oh, really? So, wait, you killed the Gemini killer? And Dexter was like, yeah. And he just told him, like, there were twins. You know, so that interaction was super fun because Harrison is kind of freaked out by it. But at the same time, he's like, well, you know, this is my reality. This is the world I live in. This is my dad. And it is what it is, right? He's just accepting it. So that's kind of cool and a cool dynamic. And I'm looking forward to that too. But I actually want it to be like even more chill. Like I want to see Harrison go to college and Dexter visiting him, you know, and being like a father. I don't know. I feel like those interactions are super cute and endearing. Also, let's talk about another endearing interaction and just a relationship with Dexter, which is Blessing. Blessing, oh my gosh, he is one of my new favorite side characters right now. Like it used to be Angel, and I mean Angel is forever gonna have a special place in my heart. I also like Masuka because he's just so crazy and with the laugh and with the creepiness sometimes. But Blessing is such a kind soul. I just want to hug him. That's the vibe I get. Also, his accent. But it was kind of funny to me that he invited Dexter to his car, and even though there was this like serial killer going around killing drivers like him. So I was like, you are way too trusting. Sure, Dexter didn't just murder you, but still, you know, he is a white male. And then his friend, when Dexter came to the party, his friend literally said, like, it could have easily been you. And you're similar to him, like the build, the height, everything. And I'm like, and you're so like not freaked out by this. It was just fun how trusting Blessing is, but I loved it. I appreciated it. He did kind of overreact with the whole thing that he told his daughter. That was a little bit like too much. Like how could have Dexter known that his daughter doesn't know? You know what I mean? That his family like don't know like even a little bit about his story, and he does. You know, that's kind of. So you told me and you didn't tell your family, but I understand Blessing because sometimes it's easier to talk about real shit with people who you don't know that well. It's sometimes easier to open up to them instead of, you know, to the people that are closest to you. So I'm not saying I don't understand, but yeah. But anyway, they patched it up. So yeah, Blessing, I feel like is an amazing side character. I just hope nothing happens to him. Like if he died, I would riot. I feel like, you know, Batista kind of makes sense, even though I'm not, I mean, how can I be happy about it? I'll never be happy about it, but it makes sense. It was like satisfying in the sense that I was like, what just happened? I cried, you know, they got a reaction out of me, but still. Okay, now back to Dexter, I suppose, and his serial killer club. I did not see this coming. I didn't see the trailer for Dexter Resurrection, so I had no idea in what direction this was gonna go. I knew that obviously the story is not gonna revolve constantly around Harrison. That would be a bit boring. But come on, who comes up with these crazy storylines? It's insane. I already liked the serial killer club plotline in The Sandman. If you watch The Sandman on Netflix, the first season has like an episode where there's like a serial killer convention. So this isn't a spoiler. Like it's one of the episodes. I'm not gonna tell you more, but it's just so funny and hilarious when you bring like these psychopaths into one room. And the fact that they did it here, I loved it so much. It was so fun. It also was so convenient that this what was he called? The Dark Passenger. How did I forget that? The Dark Passenger, that he was so private. No one like saw him. No one had a picture of him. So Dexter could actually just take on this role. So that was fun to see. Also, come on, Dark Passenger, like really, who comes up with this? This is amazing. The imagination of these writers, they're great. Like kudos to them. Also, another thing, what did you guys think about Lady Vengeance? Like, did you think that she is like Dexter in the sense, oh my gosh, she does have a code, she does kill just sexual predators? Or did you know, like, you know, something's fishy about her? Because I just knew that she isn't like Dexter, because why is she so friendly with these other killers then? Like, it might have been just facade, but at the same time, when she talked with Dexter, she told him that the only guy she doesn't actually like is the tattoo guy, the one that killed, people with tattoos. So that's the only guy that you're bugged by because he was kind of sexual towards her. So I kind of understand that. But come on, that dude, he kills women, like innocent women with ponytails. And the Gemini killer, he kills in pairs, like fathers, sons, siblings. And she's fine with all of them. She's like, oh yeah, they're all fine. Just the tattoo guy isn't. So that was kind of sus immediately. And yeah, Dexter immediately kind of expected when she told him that they could do it together, he kind of expected them to kill one of hers. So yeah, I was kind of expecting that plot twist. And by the way, I saw online that the Lady Vengeance, she's like very loved. People really like her character. I wasn't that intrigued by her, to be honest. There's also this theory online that she might still be alive because at the end, when Dexter found the files, hers was still active. So I'm like, Prater is pretty, he is pretty consistent with everything. So I feel like if she was truly dead, he would probably like scratch her out immediately, delete her or whatever, or say, inactive. But no, she's still active. So her death might have been faked. I hope not, because I'm not as intrigued by her character. I actually think the ponytail guy, what's his name? Rapunzel, the serial killer name. He's more creepy, and he might be like a more interesting main villain next season than her. But that's just my opinion. I also feel like Rapunzel, he really tries to play out this neighbor next door persona, and he is a lot more brutal and a lot smarter. Of course, he's brutal. I mean, look at what he does, and we saw his like video, what he did. Of course, he's brutal. That's not a question. But I think he's smarter than he pretends to be. He's pretending to be a little bit goofy and not that intelligent, but I think he's a lot smarter, and there's potential there, in my opinion. I think Dexter's probably gonna hunt him down the next season. That might be like the first thing that he does. Really, I don't think he's gonna be the big bad, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, anyways, all of that was great. Like him telling, for example, that to guy that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, that reveal was amazing. And if I'm completely honest, that's something that is missing with Dexter, in my opinion. Every time he has someone on his table, I want him to tell them, I am the Bay Harbor Butcher. I want everyone to shit themselves when they hear that. And I kind of missed that with the Gemini killer. He didn't tell them who he was. So I really missed that, especially because the Gemini killers were so cocky, especially the first brother, the first twin. It was too much, and he was like, I'm the best here, I'm Praetor's prized possession, or whatever. Not a possession, he would never call himself that, but you know what I mean. So I was like, he should have known, and he should have found out who Dexter is. So yeah, that was kind of sad for me. But we did kind of get an amazing direction from Praetor. Okay, that was incredible. In regards to Praetor, I kind of knew that once he found out, he was gonna be impressed by it, and he was, because the Bay Harbor Butcher, that's like legendary, right? And he collects these killers. They're his trophies in a way, like as a billionaire or whatever. So I knew he was going to be impressed by it, but I also thought that it might go in the other direction, because at the end of the day, Praetor created this club because he admires people like him, and if Dexter goes and kills every one of them, there's no club, right? Like, what's the point then? So I was in between. I was like, okay, he's either gonna go that way and he's not gonna be happy about it, he's gonna be mad, and also like, how can I control someone like that? But you could also go in the other direction and be like he was, right? But I did think that Praetor was stupid with putting Batista on the table, and it did kind of confuse me, because I was like, so do you know that the Bay Harbor Butcher is a killer that kills other killers? All of his victims were some kind of criminals or whatever. He also killed like your entire club, right? So So why would you put someone innocent on the table and think that he's just gonna be all for it? Especially if that's not his MO. I mean, it might be like, I don't know, he might have thought, just like Lady Vengeance, for example, like she supposedly kills sexual predators, like mostly, but it's not a problem for her to kill other people too, because she's just a psychopath, so why not, right? But Dexter's different. So yeah, maybe Praetor was kind of counting on that Dexter is just such a psychopath without emotions, without feelings, that it won't be really a problem. Like, why not, I mean, what serial killer has a code? they have preferences, but they don't really have codes than just Dexter. So, okay, you can explain it away in that way. Okay, let's just get into that, huh? The ending. Oh, Batista, Batista, Batista. Look, I love the guy, okay? But I just knew that this is not gonna end well for him. I was kind of naively hoping that he might go back to Miami somehow. Like, for example, his shield got taken away. He was getting nowhere with Dexter, like, no evidence, no one was listening to him. I thought, okay, maybe he's gonna go back to Miami and try to do something from there and maybe convince Quinn and some other cops that know him and trust him to help him out so that they can bust Dexter together. I thought maybe that's what's gonna happen. Like, he's not gonna give up, but he's just gonna regroup. It doesn't make sense because that's not who Batista is. He is stubborn and he wants to serve justice. And if he knows Dexter is out there killing people, he's gonna try to stop him as soon as possible. But it would be a smart thing to do to just kind of regroup. So yeah, I was hoping for that, but no. Also, I was also like, come on, he went to Prater after he saw Prater and Dexter outside that restaurant. And I'm like, even though Dexter is a killer, yeah, and he was responsible also for like Huerta's death and Deb's and Dox's, that's true. But still, he does kill criminals. So if he's hanging out with Prater and if you think Prater's life is in danger, that might mean that Prater is a bad guy. You know what I mean? He's just like going there all guns blazing, not even doing some research on Prater first. I mean, he probably wouldn't find out anything. But still, it was just too much. And even then, again, I was probably being a little bit naive, but when he had him on the table and I knew Dexter was gonna somehow, rescue him or something. But I kind of was hoping again that Batista wouldn't react emotionally and that he would be rational about it and just be like, okay, so Prater is a psychopath. He literally wants Dexter to kill me. Like, did he not hear everything Prater was saying? He's obsessed with Dexter. He's a little psycho himself. So why won't you just kind of think rationally, first take care of Prater and Charlie, and then take care of Dexter as well, if you must, right? So I was kind of hoping that they were gonna team up, but of course not. I mean, I was being naive. I mean, think about it. Batista and Dexter, they were best friends. Like, he was a witness at Batista's wedding. Batista literally cared so much for him, so much about him. And to find out that he was responsible for his wife's death, and Doxis, his best friends, and even Dag, And like he said at the end, you might not have pulled the trigger, you might not have literally killed them, but it was your fault. And it's true. As much as I love Dexter and like I want the show to carry on forever, it's so good. And if he gets caught and if he gets killed, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, like a lot of innocent people died also because of his actions. Rita as well, Harrison's mom. He just couldn't leave the Trinity killer alone, He just couldn't kill him immediately or just let it be. You know what I mean? No, he had to befriend him and do all that shit, and then Rita ended up dying. And if I ever like really disliked Dexter, it was then, in that season when we divide. So I get Batista. So yeah, he was immediately like emotional, attacked Dexter on the spot. And then it happened. We're just so sad though. I was glad that he didn't die immediately, that they had some last words there. I was kind of hoping that before the showdown happens, if it happens, that they would like discuss their friendship a little bit more, a little further, because like I said, they were so close. And what we got in the beginning in the first episode between them, their little patch up, him being like, I had this speech at your funeral, and then whatever, it wasn't enough for me. I hoped we were gonna get even more. And instead we got like a lot of anger between them. Dexter even threatened Batista at one point, he was like, this is not gonna end well for you. So I was sad about it because they were such friends and it just makes me so sad. And his last words were literally, fuck you. And Dexter's scream at the end, like his primal scream, ruined me. And then after that scream, we got Mad World, that song. You cannot do that to me. Like literally, when shows do this, it's already an emotional scene, and then they play an emotional song. Like, I broke down. I started crying uncontrollably after that happened. Even posted a TikTok on my personal account that was like crying in the camera. It's crazy. I just couldn't help myself. It's such a tragic ending for a character as amazing as Angel. I think, like, in the original series, Dexter even once said that if he could be normal, he would want to be like Angel. And he said that to Angel. And Angel, of course, didn't understand what he meant. He was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but thanks. And I'm just like, come on. I wish we got more bromance between them before the Pista kind of went on the hunt for him. But of course, like, not. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let's go now to the last episode. When shit hit the fan, Dexter got locked in the vault. And the fact that the Pista's phone was in there, such a blessing, right? A blessing, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I mean, I liked the last episode. I think I liked the ninth episode even more, if I'm completely honest. But the last one was great too. His confrontation with Praetor, he told him everything, who he is, what he is. That was also very, very satisfying. And you know, Praetor, like this actor, I love this actor, by the way, Luther Venkage. His acting was incredible. You know, when he was like kind of happy, oh my gosh, so yeah, you're not gonna kill me. I knew no one can say no to money or whatever. And then when he realizes that that's not the case, it is incredible. And the fact that Dexter didn't even want to keep a trophy, like he doesn't even want to remember him. And now the entire world is going to remember him as this serial killer fan cop killer, right? So that's just so tragic for Praetor, but you know, he deserves it, right? Just everything about it, the ending when Dexter looks into the camera, it's such a flashback, right? And tells us like that I'm exactly who you want me to be. It's like he's calling us out. People who are obsessed with Dexter in the sense he can do no wrong, and also people who are like, okay, can someone bust him already? Like, I'm in the middle. I know he can do wrong, but at the same time, I, of course, am a fan and I love him. I feel like Michael C. Hall is such a charming actor and Dexter is such a charming character. What's not to love? Also, I do kind of hope that Dexter gets back into the blood spatter analyzing thingy, that becomes his job again, because I feel like that's kind of missing. You know, for example, when he had that interaction with that detective woman, I forgot her name, I'm sorry. But when he had that interaction with her and he was like explaining to her and showing her how the New York Ripper like kills or whatever, that's incredible. Like, I missed that, you know? So you never know. Maybe he does go into NYPD. Since he kind of stole all of the files and serial killers, it might happen that he just kind of goes on a road trip next season and just kind of stalks and finds all of his killers around the country. Because obviously not everyone is in New York. Also, she found out, Claudette, I think it's just Claudette. She found the New York Ripper file in Praetor's cabinet, and we get the reveal that it's like this random guy. But there is a chance that that's just like a fake name. You know what I mean? There is a chance that it's still someone that we might know. I saw a lot of theories out there that it might be Quinn, which no way. Like, seriously, guys, come on. I mean, I know we want Quinn to have a major role in the show. I want that too. Maybe he'll come and be the next Batista, but come on. Quinn, as much as he can be like sleazy and stuff, he is not a killer. Like, how could he be doing that when he was in Miami, like the entire show of Dexter? And yeah, fine, he did move from New York, so maybe he was doing it then, and then I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but I don't think it's Quinn. I also don't think, or not that I don't think, I don't want it to be Jonah, which is the Trinity Killer's son. That's also a theory out there that it's Jonah. I don't want it to be him because, I don't know, I think that's boring. It's not gonna really hit me if it's Jonah. I also saw some theories that it's Officer Oliva, the detective that works with Claudette. That might be cool, but at the same time, it's very, again, similar to what we've already seen. Like, for example, in Original Sin, it's turned out that the killer who was killing children was one of the actual officers, like the captain at the time. In Original Sin, at the time when Dexter was still like a student. So this would be too similar in that way, but it would be kind of interesting that they'll be similar, so I'm not sure if I like that. I think it might be even fun if it's just if it's a random person. Like, and Dexter helps catch him with his blood spatter analyzing stuff that he has going on. That would be cool, in my opinion. What else is there to say? I don't like Harrison and Gigi. I know, I mean, Gigi, she's cute and all that, but I don't know, it seems kind of forced. She's kind of forced. I don't know if the actress or just, I don't know. I just don't like something about Gigi. For some reason, I'm also like, why is she here? Like, she just came in so suddenly. I know they want to give Harrison a storyline, but I thought there was something going on between him and that, you know, co-worker of his with the kids. And now she's just gone. We haven't seen her at all. She just disappeared and she's now with Gigi. So that's kind of weird dynamic. Even though Gigi is kind of fun because now she wants to be a blood spatter analyst too, perhaps. So that's interesting. I mean, she wants to go into forensics. So Dexter might be like a tutor for her. We don't know. That might be fun. Like maybe I just have to get used to her. I also love Claudette, by the way. I feel like she's such an interesting police officer. She's obviously a genius. I love the fact that she plays that song of hers all the time when she has to focus. When she left the party and then came back when she heard that song, I was so ecstatic about that because that's me. So many times I want to leave the club and I'm like, okay, I'm going home now. And then I hear a song that I really like. I'm just like, okay, just one more song. And then I just don't leave. And that's what happened with her. She had a whole choreography. It was so fun. It was so funny. I loved her. I love her so much. I can't wait to get more of her. And her dynamic with Oliva's nice. He is kind of like, it would make sense if he is the New York Ripper just because he doesn't have like a big role at all. He doesn't do anything really. He's her partner, but she does the work, if we're honest. Like he's just there commenting stuff. So if he was the New York Ripper, it would give him something more. And he is also a charismatic actor. So I wish we get more. And also I feel like he likes Claudette. So, that might be a thing. I got that vibe, especially at the party, at Prater's party. So yeah, Paris is going to college. Hopefully his and Dexter's relationship is going to be more like father-son so that we get that dynamic. I feel like we need more of that. Oh my gosh, we also got Dexter's brother back. That was amazing. That actor also incredible. Maybe we'll get more of him. We'll see. Dexter, I feel like he's even a little bit darker now. Sure, he's more in touch with his emotions on one side, but on the other hand, like now that he has a son, he's more protective. And even Harry, when Harrison was in danger, Harry was like, go get that fucker, And that's not usually what Harry's like. We have to remember this is Dexter's subconscious, which means that his subconscious is so aggressive when it comes to Harrison being in danger. So that's like a darker side of Dexter. And hopefully we'll see more of his brother too, because he's also super cool. So that's it. That's it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to discuss Dexter Resurrection because, like I said, I'm obsessed with it. It's been a while since I've liked the TV show as much as this one. I wasn't expecting much. I really thought it was not... sometimes when they review shows, when they make continuations, especially if it's years after, they never nail it. Never. Like, it's always worse than the original season or not as good, right? It's not as good. But this one was as good, if not even better, than some of the seasons in the original series. It has like a 9.3 rating on IMDb, I think, and the last episode was rated 9.6, which is crazy. I hope it wins an award or something. It's so good. Anyways, let me know if there's anything else you want me to discuss, anything specific. But, for the next episode, I might be back with some bookish catch-up, what I read in the summer. And also, I have to do another episode with my friend with the Throne of Glass series. We're now at Kale's book. If you know, you know. And that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you can, subscribe to my channel, wherever you are listening, you rate it. Any kind of interaction helps. And yeah, that's it. See you next time. Bye!